Hey you guys, if you like this video subscribe, like, and hit the notification bell. Now let's start. Chapter 7. Meetings and Acceptance. Izuku was meditating in the backyard. Someone was walking to the back porch to greet him. "Hey Ochako," Izuku said. "Wait, how did you know I was there?" she asked. "I guess the rings must give me some kind of sixth sense." "Oh yay, what Inko told me." The Izuku tingle. "Please do not start calling it my Izuku tingle," Izuku said. "Anyway, I came by to tell you that my parents are coming to town. They wanna meet you. That could be fun. If I wasn't so nervous about the dad," Izuku told her. "Oh, come on, there's no need to fear my dad. He'll try and act all tough, but he'll grow to like you, I promise," Ochako told him. "Okay," Izuku said. Later on, Izuku was cooking up some food for the Urarakas for their arrival. Ochako was surprised he knew how to make food. "How?" Ochako asked. "I can't rely on others to make stuff for me," Izuku said, "so what better time than now to learn for myself?" The doorbell rang. Ochako went to the door to see her parents. "Mommy, Daddy," Ochako said as she gave them both a hug. "How are you liking living in your own apartment?" her mom asked. "It gets a little lonely, but it's okay cause I got some good friends." Izuku walked up and her dad looked at him. "So, you're the one who's dating our baby girl," the man said. Izuku looked at him and gulped. He looked like he could pound someone with a single punch. Why, yes sir. My NN name is Izuku Yagi," he said. "I see. Well then." The man began. He then raised his hand up. Izuku closed his eyes and braced for impact. But rather he felt a soft hand touch his shoulder, then opened his eyes to see the man with a smile and a thumbs up. "Pleasure to finally meet you, son." "Yes, we were very eager to meet the man who's dating our daughter," Akako's mother said. "I'm Karimi and this is Maruki." "Nice to meet you both," Izuku said, bowing to the two. Later on, all of them were having dinner. Izuku was chatting about how he met Ochako and how they hit it off. Maruki and Toshinori shared dad jokes, much to the wives' annoyance. "What are those things on your wrist and legs?" Kurumi asked curiously. These are rings that I managed to find in a chest in, well, my old home," Izuku noted. "Old home?" Maruki asked. "Dad, I don't think it's best to," Ochako started. "It's okay, Ochako, they deserve to know," Izuku said. "What is it?" Kurumi asked. "I didn't have the best life growing up," Izuku started. "When I was 4 I went to get my quirk diagnosis, but ended up quirkless. The very next day, my former father drove me to a foster care and left me there without even saying anything. For the past 4 years I suffered neglect and assault, simply for trying to be a hero without a quirk. Did my former parents even bother to call and check up on me?" The Urarakas were shocked to hear about this. "Exactly. So when I was 8 I ran away, and took the rings I found with me. I was gonna be a hero one way or another." "And I'm assuming you were adopted by the Yagis?" Maruki asked. Izuku nodded and looked to his loving family. "Yes," Izuku said, "they gave me the love and support that my former family denied me, and they love me for who I am." He then looked at Ochako and held her hand. "Above all, I met my true love." "Now you're just making it sound like a cheesy Disney movie," Maruki said. Kurumi back-slapped him with a book. "Don't ruin it," she whispered. "Ahem. Anyways, you have our blessing," Maruki said. "Hopefully one day we'll have some grand." "Keep it up and it's the couch for you, mister," Kurumi warned. "Same for you, Toshinori," Inko said. "No more dad jokes." Izuku and Ochako laughed at this. "Well, we're eager to see how your entrance exam goes," Kurumi said. Later on, the two of them decided to head back home. They hugged their daughter farewell. "Be good to her, son," She truly cares about ya, Maruki said. Izuku nodded. Later on, Izuku decided to call it a day and fall asleep. After a few minutes of deep sleep, he found himself in some kind of dark room, next to Toshinori. Dad, what's going on? Izuku asked. I have no idea, Toshinori said. Suddenly a few figures appeared before them. One of them was someone who Toshinori knew very well. She was a slender-looking woman with a hairdo similar to Inko and chiseled muscles. Master, Toshinori asked. The figure laughed at this. Toshinori, we've saved the world together on multiple occasions, she said. Call me Nana. Okay Nana, Toshinori said with a smile. Nana then turned to Izuku and smiled. And this must be your adopted son, Nana said with a smile. I'm so proud of you Toshinori. You took in and raised a defenseless child, and helped him realize he could be a hero, quirk or no quirk. Of course, I would do that again in a heartbeat, Toshinori said. You showed me pity and trained me to be a hero, and I wanted to do the same for someone else. Two other figures appeared. One looked thinner but still had some muscle strength. Another one had hair similar to the other, but was taller and dressed as a businessman. And that's why you were meant to wield this quirk, he said. I am Yorchi Shigaraki, and this is my elder brother Noda Shigaraki. We are the first users of OFA. Yes, it all started when I gave my brother a quirk assuming he was quirkless. However, I didn't know that he had a quirk that allowed him to transfer DNA to others. And thus, OFA is born. After he used the quirk to take down powerful foes, he shared the power with me, and I transferred it to another. As this happened, the quirk grew stronger. And the rest is history, Nana said. While I am still alive, I can still have contact with the previous and current users of the quirk. She noticed the rings on Izuku's wrists and legs. I haven't seen those rings since my master, she said, and now they've found their way to you. Yes, Izuku said, I want to use them to be a hero. Nana smiled and kissed his forehead. Your determination to be a hero will be your greatest power yet, Nana said. To reward you for what you've done, you will have 100% control of the quirk. All Might smiled at his adoptive son. I will miss the quirk once it goes away, but I'm certain it's in safe hands, he said. On the contrary Toshinori, we have a special reward for you, Nana told him, the smile still on her face. Your ember will be everlasting, and will stay with you for all time. Even though your version of the quirk won't be as powerful as Izuku, you will still be the symbol of peace for as long as you desire. Toshinori was thrilled with the news. He smiled widely and looked at his hands. I can still bring peace to the world, he said. Until we meet again grandson, Nana said. Izuku suddenly woke up from his deep sleep. He then smiled to himself knowing the truth about One for All, and about what would come next. He soon fell back asleep. Chapter 8. First day. Izuku was in his room meditating. Suddenly the door barged open. Inko was practically crawling on the floor. Izuku, they're here, she said. Your test results. Izuku took the envelope and walked into his room. Izumi pushed Inko away from his room so she could give her brother some privacy. Izuku opened the envelope and a hologram appeared with All Might. I am here with your test results, he said with his trademark smile, young Yagi. You have passed with flying colors on both portions on the exam. You scored second place in the highest ranking students, and also earned a few rescue points for protecting fellow students from the Giant Zero PTR. Congratulations young man, this is your hero academia. Yes, Izuku said as he jumped up. I think he got in, Izumi said with a smile. Inko smiled. I'm so proud of you both, she said as she hugged Izumi. A few days passed to the first day of school. Both Izuku and Izumi were in their school uniform. Izuku's tie was shorter than usual. The way Izumi wore the school uniform was a bit different than other females. She was actually wearing the boy's uniform, with the blazer and the shirt unbuttoned. "Do you have everything you need?" Inko asked. "Yep, pencils, books, notes, everything," Izuku said. Inko hugged both of her children. "I'm proud of you both," she told them. "Thanks, Mom," Izuku said. "And if any punks bully him, they'll get an ass whooping from his big sister," Izumi said with a determined look. "You know he's 8 minutes older than you, right?" Inko asked. This earned a laugh from everyone. Ochako suddenly arrived in school garb. Izuku was gushing because of how cute she looked. "Looks like you got in as well, Izuku," Ochako said with a smile. "You really caught me by surprise at the entrance exams." "Wow, she looks good in uniform," Izuku said. Izumi smirked at Izuku and said, "Like what ya see?" "Shut up," Izuku said. "Well, it's gonna be a good year already," Ochako stated. "Yep," Izumi said, "so what are we waiting for?" New Year's. Later on they started walking to UA. Once they made it, they were looking for Class 1A. They walked for a little bit and saw a door that looked like it was made for giants. "Izuku?" asked a familiar voice. Izuku turned around and saw his old friend Shen Li. "Shen," Izuku said. The two of them gave each other a hug. Shen Li. Quirk, Nano. Shen can create anything that comes to mind using programmable matter. He usually wears a backpack on his bag to power his weapons. "I assume you're in the same class as us?" Izuku asked. "You know it," Shen said with a smirk. "Sweet," Izumi said. "It'll be even greater if Bakugo and Todoroki are in the same course as us." Someone tapped Izumi's shoulder. She turned around to see none other than Melissa Shield. "Oh. Izumi said as she was startled with words. Izuku and Ochako snickered. "Like what you see, sis?" Izuku asked her. "Go fuck yourself," Izuku said. Izuku, Ochako and Shen all started laughing their asses off at that. They all went in and saw a lot of students. The boy with glasses was arguing with a girl with rabbit ears and dark skin. "Get your feet off that desk," Iida said. "You're disrespecting the heroes who have sat in that desk before you." "I think I have a better idea. How about you kiss my ass?" the rabbit girl said. "I like this girl's attitude," Katsuki said. "Kinda reminds me of you," Shoto said. "What's that supposed to mean?" Katsuki said. "Who's the two-toned hedgehog?" asked a voice. Katsuki turned to see a girl with long hair, wearing the uniform in a similar manner that Izumi was, only with a skirt. "You're like, super hot," she said. "I'm crazy stoked to be in class with a total babe like you." "Thanks," Katsuki said. "The name is Kami, and I'm hyped to be here with you homies and homegirls, so let's keep the year fresh y'all," Kami said. "I have no idea what she just said," everyone else said in unison. "Well, everyone looks friendly," Ochako said. "I can't wait to meet everybody." "If you're just here to make friends, you're in the wrong place," said a tired voice. Everyone turned around to see a talking sleeping bag. After seeing said sleeping bag take out an applesauce pack, everyone got their asses to their seat as the hobo in the sleeping bag slithered into the classroom. The hobo got out of his sleeping bag and stood in front of the class. "Hello, I'm Shota Aizawa, your homeroom teacher," said the hobo named Aizawa. He then took out a uniform. "Take one of these and meet me outside," he said before slithering away. Izuku was changing and noticed Apple staring. "What? Dude, you're ripped," a boy with red hair said. "Thanks, I've been working out." Later everyone was outside. There was gonna be a quirk apprehension test to see what quirks the students had. Aizawa turned to Melissa. "Shield, step forward." Melissa walked forward and she was about to demonstrate her power. "You all might wanna step back," she said. She took the ball and channeled Photon into her arm. The minute she threw the ball, She unleashed the photon, sending the ball flying. Everyone was shocked by this power. Each of you will go through various tests to see what your quirks are capable of, Aizawa said. You know our motto. Go beyond, plus ultra. Show us that it was no mistake you got enrolled here. The tests started. Izuku and Melissa were the top two in most of them. The two of them tied during the grip portion of the tests. Izuku used the rings combined with one for all to give him a boost in speed and power. During the long jump, he jumped over the fields, impressing Aizawa. Ochako managed to get an infinity score during the ball throw, therefore Izuku got third, after Melissa. The students had promising results for sure. Shen was using his constructs for most of the tests. The bunny girl looked at him and smiled. Hey, what's with that backpack on your back? She asked. Oh, this thing. It's my power supply, Shen answered. I gotta have something to channel my programmable matter. Well, it's pretty useful for sure, she said. My name's Rumi Usajiyama. Yours? Shen Li, Shen said as he shook Rumi's hand. I'll say you got some grit, she said. If you ever need a sparring partner, let me know. A few minutes later, the tests were over and the results went in. Izuku, Melissa and Katsuki were in the top 3. Got beat by a girl, Shen said. Shut up, Gizmo, Katsuki said. Alright, with that out of the way, I'll be showing you guys around your dorm, Heights Alliance, Aizawa told them. Follow me. He took the students to a building that was called Alliance Heights. It was a pretty big place, and had multiple rooms to behold. Wow, it's almost the same size as my mansion, Momo said. This comment caught the attention of a curious Ochako. She turned to Momo. How rich are you, Yaoyorozu? She asked. Well, I'm pretty rich to have a total of 10 mansions in total, Momo said, smiling. Ochako fainted, but was caught by Izuku. 10 mansions, she exclaimed. Stop fooling around, Aizawa said. I'm about to show you the rules and information about the dorms, Aizawa said. He spent the next few minutes showing everyone the life of the UA dorms. There were various rooms such as the dining room, the living room, a study room, and even a garden. It was almost like UA was also a college. And also the bathrooms are separated by gender, so don't worry, Aizawa said. This is your dorm chart. Now these rooms also have numbers, so measure your rooms and set your dorms accordingly, Aizawa said. You're dismissed for the day. Everyone spent the entire day setting up their dorms and putting things away. Izuku used a small portion of OFA to make things a little easier for him as he was lifting heavy objects. Later on during the day, Izuku was laying on the couch exhausted from all the work. Shoto saw him resting and decided to surprise him. Dogpile, he shouted. He jumped on Izuku much to his dismay. Other students joined them in the main lounge. So what should we do for the rest of the day? Kirishima asked. Well, we can spend the rest of the day getting to know each other, Izuku said. Who wants to go first? I'll go, a red-haired boy said. My name's Ajiro Kirishima, and my quirk is hardening. Basically I can make my body hard to a degree at the cost of speed. That's pretty useful, a girl with earphones on her head said. My name is Kyoka Jiro. My quirk is earphone jacks. I can basically hear sound frequencies, and also make shockwaves. My name's Denki Kaminari, and my quirk is electricity, a boy with yellow hair said. I can conduct it and use it for attacks. But if I overuse it, well, let's not get there yet. I am Shoto Todoroki, Shoto said. I can use fire and ice. The fire side comes from my father, Endeavor. It's very useful in certain situations, Momo said. My name is Momo Yaoyorozu. My quirk is creation, and I can create certain objects as long as I know what they're made of. Can you make a bow and arrow? Kaminari asked. I suppose, Momo said. Can you make a sword? Kaminari asked. Yes, Momo sighed. Ooh, how about a filing cabinet? Kaminari asked. Why would I want to? Momo asked. I'll give you $5 now if you make a. Kaminari said before getting poked by Jiro's earplugs. Please pardon my boyfriend, she said, he can be a total chatterbox sometimes. It's alright, Momo said. Okie dokie, my turn, said the pink-haired girl. My name is Mina Ashido. I can secrete acid from my body, which is the reason why my skin is pink. I also love to dance. My name's Rikido Sato, said a muscular-looking man. My quirk is Sugar Rush. I can eat sugar and get super strong. But if I overdo it, my IQ goes down by quite a mile. I'm Honda Zero, a boy with hair down said. My quirk is tape. It's pretty self-explanatory. I am Tenya Iida, the blue-haired boy said, and my quirk is engine. It allows me to run at fast speeds. I will be the rule enforcer of this school. A girl who looked like a frog stepped up. Suyu Asui, but please. Call me Sue, Sue said. My quirk is frog. I can basically do whatever a frog can. My name is Hitoshi Shinso and my quirk is brainwash, Shinso said. I can basically control people and tell them what to do. I'm Rumi Usajiyama, and my quirk is rabbit, Rumi said. My quirk basically lets me do whatever a rabbit can, and I got strong legs for kicking ass. My name is Melissa Shield, Melissa said, and you'll probably be surprised by this, but that power isn't actually a quirk, but rather something that came from my mother. She had the same abilities I currently have. Well, you certainly amazed us back there, Izumi said before whispering, me mostly. After the rest of the class introduced themselves, the only few left were Ochako, Shen, and Izuku. My name is Ochako Uraraka, Ochako said. My quirk is zero gravity. I can basically make things weightless. But the more objects I make weightless, the more I'm vulnerable to puking rainbows. My name is Shen Li, and my quirk is nano. It allows me to create objects out of programmable matter. This bag on my back is actually a power supply. The bigger an object, the more power it takes to make it. It's pretty nice, Rumi said. Thanks, Shen said. So can you show us something cool with your quirk outside? Kaminari asked. I dunno, Shen said. Oh come on, Rumi said. Shen. 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 Everyone started joining in on Rumi chanting his name. Alright, Shen said as he walked outside to the training grounds. Get down when I tell you. Shen got into position. Get back, he said. Everyone got back for a little bit. They then peeked their heads out and Shen saw them. Get back, he said. Nobody moved. Whatever. He then created a cannon and fired it at a statue, destroying it. Everyone was amazed by this. Izuku smiled at his friend being acknowledged for his cool power. He was excited for what the year had in store. Chapter 9. Fight Training. Izuku and the others were going through another day of classes. There were subjects like history, math, and English literature. They were all taught by professors who were also pro-heroes. Izuku, being the fanboy he was, asked for autographs from each of them, and much to his surprise he received them. In the afternoon, it was time for the main attraction, hero courses. Everyone was waiting eagerly for classes to start. They all heard a familiar laugh. I am coming through the door like a normal person, the person said. It was none other than All Might. He was going to teach heroics courses for Class 1A, much to their surprise and joy. Green Magnet also joined in. Whoa, he's wearing his Silver Age costume, Kirishima said. I can't believe he's teaching us how to do hero work, Mina exclaimed. I am also here, she said. Hey Mom and Dad, Izuku said. The rest of the class was speechless. WHAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAAA Re the son of All Might. No wonder you, Re so powerful, Kirishima shouted. Well, not biologically, but, yay, Izuku said with a smile. Well, little heroes, let's hope you're all ready for today's lesson, as it will pull 0 punches. All Might said, holding up a card. Fight training, Bakugo said. However, one of the other parts of being a hero is looking the part, which is why we have these. Magnetic said as she pressed a button. A few suitcases were given to all of the students. They carried their hero costumes. They were all excited to see what their costumes looked like, especially Izuku. Later on, everyone was starting to change. Izumi was changing into her gym uniform and she noticed Melissa changing as well. She caught a glimpse of her body. Her skin shined like the afternoon sun, her arms were slender, and her chest that was covered in a pink bra seemed slightly bigger than someone else's. Izumi started to blush a bit. Yo, Izumi, Mina said. Huh, what? Izumi asked. What are you looking at? Mina asked. Nothing, Izumi said while turning red. Yay, right, I saw you checking out Melissa, Mina said. Are you a lesbian? Where did you get that idea? Just because I was staring at Melissa's hot body doesn't mean I'm a lesbian. But to answer your question, yes. Izumi said. Called it, Mina said. Nothing wrong with that, Rumi said. Melissa turned to her classmates hearing her name. What are you guys talking about? She asked. Oh, we were just talking about how Izumi has a crew, Mina said before Izumi slapped her hand on Mina's mouth. Class 1A made their way towards the watch room before ground beta. All Might was there looking at all of the hero costumes. All Might dear, didn't we tell our students to meet us out here? Magnetic asked, cause all I see is heroes. Izuku came out in some kind of Chinese-inspired costume, with the rings still intact. Shen walked out in some kind of futuristic-looking battle suit. Rumi noticed him. Well, look at you. You look like you came from the future, she told him. Shen was checking out Rumi in her hero costume. It was, well, a bit revealing. But it was made as if to let her move around like a rabbit could. She also had some iron boots for her legs. Checking me out or ya perv? Rumi asked teasingly. Shen blushed and looked away. Sorry, I didn't mean to look like that. Fuck, he's cute, Rumi thought. Izuku noticed Ochako. She was wearing some kind of skin-tight suit that made her look like a space girl. Izuku was a blushing mess seeing her in that costume and tried his damnedest to not make it seem obvious that he's secretly a pervert. Izumi laughed at this. She then saw Melissa. Nice costume, Mel, Izumi said. Thanks, I invented it after all, she said. Get out of town, Izumi said. I'm serious, Melissa told her. Now I will explain the scenario for fight training, All Might said, pulling out a script. The battles that you mostly see on TV are done out in the open. But the battles you don't see are taken indoors. So basically villains who are most cunning do their plots in buildings or secret areas, Izuku said. Correct, All Might told them. This scenario will feature the heroes and villains fighting for control of a nuclear weapon. The villains have hidden a nuclear bomb somewhere in this building. The heroes must either capture the weapon or the villains. Do this and you win. The villains win if they capture the heroes. Looks like it came straight out of a video game, Kaminari Sayed, but it sounds fun nonetheless. All Might picked some cards and chose who would be a part of which team. Izuku and Ochako were part of one team while Shoto and Yaoyorozu were part of another. Well, looks like we're in the same team, Momo said with a smile. I look forward to working with you, Todoroki. Fuck yay, Rumi said. It's you and me, pal. Nice, Shen told him. Now I declare the first team to fight will be these guys. He held out 2 cards. Team A and Team B. Team B, go inside the building, Magnetic said. Team A, you have 10 minutes to study the interior before the session begins. Ochako was studying the interior while Izuku meditated to himself. As he was meditating, he found himself in deep slumber. Izuku was in a dark area. A beam of light appeared, revealing none other than Shang-Chi. "I see you have learned how to use the rings," he said. "Well, I would think I'd have to eventually," Izuku said. "Does this place not look familiar?" he asked. Izuku looked around for a minute. He began to realize something. It was the same spot where he met the previous users of the quirk he currently has. He then looked to Shang-Chi. "Wait. You were?" "Yes, Izuku. I was one of the users of the quirk you now hold," Shang-Chi said. "Wow," Izuku said. "You must have been a powerhouse with the rings and one for all." "It's quite the story," Shang-Chi said. "Using those rings mixed with one for all did wonders, but it was also harder to control. Which brings me why I'm here. Be careful with that power." "I'll make sure of that," Izuku said. "I know I was granted with 100% of the power, but I'm gonna work my way up to the top." Shang-Chi smiled at this. "I have no doubt the rings are in good hands, Izuku," he said to him. "For now, good luck." Izuku woke up and saw Ochako waving his hand at him. "Izuku, you alright? You look like you were spacing out." "I'm fine," Izuku said. "I was just talking with one of the previous users of the quirk." "Well, it's time to start. Let's move." Izuku and Ochako went into the interior of the room. As they were walking, Izuku stopped. His rings were emitting some kind of pulse throughout the building. "Usajiyama is coming close," Izuku said. He heard footsteps. He then turned to his left and blocked a kick that was coming towards him. "Ochako, you get the bomb. I'll deal with her." "Okay," Ochako said. She started running further. "How did you know I was there?" Rumi asked. "Let's just say I got a sixth sense," he answered as he got into a fighting stance. "I'd rather end this quickly, so let's do this." "Bring it, Green Day," Rumi said. Izuku channeled 10% of OFA throughout his entire body. He then motioned Rumi to come after him. Rumi started running fast. Izuku started shooting the rings as projectiles in order to try and slow her down. Rumi dodged left and right by jumping and sidestepping. "Sheesh, you must have learned a lot from Magnetic," she said. "Well, the way I use the rings is similar to her quirk," Izuku said. "And your quirk is similar to All Might. I don't know any other heroes who are as strong as him." "Oh no, my quirk is my own. How's this for proof?" Izuku then jumped into the air, channeling about 20% into his leg. St. Louis, smash. She was sent flying through multiple walls until she reached the room where everyone else was. "I'm okay," she said with a thumbs up. Meanwhile, with Ochako. Ochako was still searching for the plastic bomb until she had found the only room where the bomb could even fit. On the very motherfucking top. She finally made it to the room where the bomb is. Unguarded and ready to secure. "Wait, this feels too easy," she said to herself. "I've been expecting you, Uraraka," said a voice. It was Shen doing his best villain impersonation, turning around on a chair. "Hand over the bomb and nobody gets hurt," Ochako said. "Oh, you think it's gonna be that easy?" Shen said. He then used his quirk to develop some kind of whip out of programmable matter. Shen then lunged at Ochako with the whip, trying to hit her. Ochako then dodged out of the way and she was looking for something to use her quirk on. "I know your quirk allows you to make things weightless and use as weapons, but what good will that do if there's nothing for you to use?" He then developed a sword. He started slicing and dicing at her as she narrowly dodged each attack that was thrown at her. She was ducking and moving to the left and right. At this point, I'm gonna have to distract him until Deku gets here, Ochako thought. Izuku suddenly jumped up, punching the wall in the process. How did you know I was here? Shen asked, still using his villain voice. A sixth sense, Izuku said with a smirk. Your Izuku tingle, Shen asked. Don't start calling it that, Izuku said. Ochako just bursted out in laughter. Let's do this, Shen said. With pleasure, Izuku said. Izuku dashed at Shen and got prepared for a kick. Shen developed a gauntlet and blocked his kick, then pushed Izuku backwards. Izuku did a few backflips to get himself balanced. He then shot a few of the rings at Shen which were blocked by the gauntlets. Getting a bit out of touch or ya? Shen asked. While this was happening, Ochako tapped herself to be weightless. She then started jumping near the missile. Izuku kept throwing the rings like projectiles at high speed. You can't keep this up forever, Shen said. I know, but I can distract you, Izuku said. Ochako then jumped at the missile, grabbing it. Heroes win, All Might said. Shen was surprised by that. He was distracted while Izuku's partner got the rocket. You never cease to amuse me, Izuku, Shen said. He was about to high-five him, but he still had the gauntlet. He disabled it and then high-fived him. If you guys love this series, let me know what other what-ifs I should do, so like, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye.